Hi, this is Mark with an update. This is the 13th of August 2025. Now, as Ashley was saying yesterday, things are a bit slow in Forex, although I do see some opportunities I'll show you. I think there's a lot of opportunities coming up in crypto and in stocks. And the good news is it's all using M2. So you can use these skills for multiple markets. Now, to find my previous posts on anything to do with crypto and investing, you need to scroll down here and click on this page, and then it will open it up and you can see 5 most recent posts in here, and this is the one we're going to have a quick look at now. And so you have a scroll through here, and then further down you can go back months and months and years. And in May I was talking when Bitcoin was at 105,000, why I thought it was going to 117, and ETH was at 2,600, and I explained why technically it would be going to 3,450 if the theory worked, and it obviously smashed that as well. So have a look back through here, heavily into gold and silver, and particularly the miners are my hedge against crypto. And again, this was the point of this most recent live training session last Tuesday, a week ago, and this was to do with, where has it gone, how emotions kill retail traders because they don't understand what's going on, and as soon as something happens that's a shock, they panic and they get out, and then they watch the markets go back up. And the big boys, the JP Morgans and the big trading companies and the banks, want you to do that. So what I've been trying to teach for the last 20 years is you need to understand how everything works and make a plan in advance and take advantage of that plan. So this was the article, and I started off explaining what happened the previous week. The negative job report saw a sell-off in stocks and the dollar and crypto, and gold and silver went up. And again, I've shown you this in previous posts. In April, when everything crashed and the stock market came down, my gold and silver miners and the bullion went up. So I was actually in profit. But I explained here, this is how markets work, and this is how retail panic and get out. So opportunities I see, and I think what's going on at the moment, after yesterday's report on the CPI coming out better than expected, ignore the red here on Forex Factory, better than expected, then that has increased the probability of a rate cut in September. And asking AI for the answer on that, they now reckon it's 98% nailed on. However, there is just one major caveat to that, is that there is tomorrow the PPI, and this is perhaps more accurate of future inflation, because if you click on the box, if you're not sure what anything is, to have a look, it's the change in the price of finished goods and services. So this is what the producers are anticipating to do. So if they're going to put the prices up, that will hit the shops in the next month or two. So unless that comes out disastrously bad, we're thinking of an interest rate cut. If there is an interest rate cut, that means more cash in the pockets of folks, more likely to spend money on crypto and on stocks. And then another boost, mega boost for crypto, is this with Trump the other day. Now the pensions in America can invest in crypto. And prior to this, the pension funds have all missed out, private and funded as well. And this could bring a massive influx of money into crypto again. And I spoke about this back in 2020. If you go into the crypto course, the first unit here is where this was a webinar presentation I did where I explained why I thought that crypto would be the best investment opportunity in your lifetime when Bitcoin was at 12,000. And one of the things I pointed out then was that it was calculated if the hedge funds got into crypto, that would send Bitcoin to 50k. And bear in mind that was at that time at 12. Now this, on top of everything else that's been going on with the Trump administration and all the big money that's coming into crypto, this should boost crypto even further. And as I say, if there are rate cuts, then that would have a similar effect. Now I look at this every day. I'm looking at the dollar index. Clearly the dollar is still weakening. Trump likes a weak dollar. Where did it stop most recently? Well, it bounced around 96.50. And so you go back looking to the left and say, well, why did it do it here? Well, in 2022, this was a major area of resistance and then support. And clearly it was relevant back in 2019 as well. So that's where it stopped. I look at this now and I say, okay, you would expect it to struggle here. I would expect it to bounce probably at 96. Could be wrong, might not get there, might go through it, but it is the most probable area to me to anticipate a bounce. If it goes up, 100 would be the thing. And the more these EMAs roll over, the stronger this area will become. So my bias still at the moment is to sell the dollar and to buy other currencies. Now, yesterday, because of this move with the CPI news, we now suddenly have the S&P is at all-time highs, which is nuts. And then the Nasdaq is the same as well. I am not buying anything up here at these top levels apart from on pullbacks. And what's weird at the moment is gold rebounded against yesterday, and so did silver. And normally, as I just explained, you anticipate when one goes up, the other goes down. However, particularly with silver, this is to do with the fact that there's not enough silver and their demand is increasing, and the manipulation that's gone on for decades with the likes of JP Morgan, they're suddenly in a short squeeze situation. And this, I have twice as much silver as gold and twice as many silver mining stocks as gold. I think, well, technically, silver was at 49.50 back in 2011. Technically, that's where it should be going next. It will struggle to get through 40, I would presume, but I am happy to be able to do that. Now, this is one of my best mining stocks, and this is EXK. This was the one the year before we bought down at the COVID low. Always have the COVID low in. This went up 270% last year, when silver only went up 60% only. So that was a massive growth. Now, the thing is, at the minute, we're up at double top levels. I wouldn't be buying in here. I wait for pullbacks. And the better pullback for me on this will be back at 450, because I will only buy a stock if I think it has the potential to make at least 25%. I think we can make 25, yeah, make 36. Here, it wouldn't be enough for me. Now, the pound at the moment, when I look at this, I'm not trading Forex at the minute because I'm traveling on a holiday, I need to monitor it more. But here is clearly a very strong area on the British pound, 134.50. And if I was to put a fib on there, it would help. Previous major support and resistance, 55 EMA after a break back through. And we've just seen the dollar index is dropping. Similarly for euro, the main area of interest is here, 115.50. And you can see on the Swissy has rejected here at the 55 as well. Aussie dollar, similar pattern because all of these are correlated. But at the moment, my focus is more on crypto. And I bought more Bitcoin at 105. I think I bought some more at 112 the other day. Ethereum has been the better one. Remember in May when I said when it was down here that I anticipated it going to 3,450, which it did. We're now up. We have broken 4,000. It wouldn't be unrealistic to expect a retest back down here, but the all-time high is 4,800, and that's where we almost are now. The Trump brothers the other week, who are heavily into all of this, spoke about Ethereum going to 8,000, and I think that is not unrealistic. And then you can also look at what's happening with Bitcoin versus Ethereum. This was a major break, and there are lots of other indicators as well where you can look at what's happening at Bitcoin against other crypto. Now, Solana is one of my main ones. I was buying Solana back in the summer last year when we were buying. These were all M2 breaks. So this was a break of a trend line and a 55 EMA when it was at 30 bucks. This was a pullback here when it was at 80 bucks. And in the summer, I can't remember now, I was buying around 140, 150. At the moment, if you have a look at this, I don't know. The last buy I did was at 165. But technically, it is 45% to the most recent high. XLM is another one of mine. This is the one that made 500% back in October. Sent a signal out to my investing group when it was at 6 cents, and it went up 500% in 3 weeks. Now, at the moment, again, I bought here. This was an M2 breakout pullback. I added more in here. Here, not so sure. What tends to happen with crypto at this stage in the game is that the smaller tokens tend to go crazy. These are more substantial ones that I have owned for some considerable time. But if we have a look at some of the Bitcoin stocks, I bought some more Mara yesterday. And Mara, a lot of these crypto miners now are diversifying into lots of other sectors. But the thinking is if the Bitcoin price goes nuts, which I think it will, then those that are mining it are going to make more money. And that would be 80% to that high and 110% to the high in March a year ago. Coinbase, I bought some more of that a couple of days ago at 300. I think this could go to $1,000 quite easily for many reasons I've explained before. As ever, not financial advice, and I could be wrong, but this is my biggest holding in terms of mining stocks. In terms of crypto-related stocks. Strategy, I sold another 25% the other week and put it into Coinbase, and I sent a signal out to my group the other day. I would prefer it to come back to 340 before I start to buy. Riot, I have bought some more in here, and Wolf is another one. They also have diversified, bought in here recently. So the smaller crypto are the ones that tend to go nuts when we go into this kind of sequence. So what you need to start looking at is some of the smaller, dafter ones. Bonk, we've done quite well out of my missus and I. Crow, you'll see Crow, Crypto.com advertising all over the world. The Dome in LA, I believe, they sponsor that, and they also sponsor Formula One. And I have a decent amount of this. 40% if it was to come back down here. Doge, another daft one, but potentially a lot of room up here. So get studying and having a look, and I base it on any crypto that I buy is based, it has to be faster, smarter, cheaper, or revolutionizing the sector that it's in, and it has to be being used. Having said that, some of the smaller ones, the crazy ones, for fun or for memes, my best percentage one I think at the moment is a crazy one called Pengu, which is up 250% in 8 weeks. But that was just a daft one, and I didn't buy a right lot of that. So educate yourself. There is a section in here, as I've explained. There's loads of articles in here in my analysis. I've explained the reasoning and what I'm doing. If you want to take it further, then my investing group is this one. And in here, I share all my portfolios of stocks as well as my crypto and buys and sells. And I send telegrams out when I'm doing it. And that is that website. But you have everything that you want at your fingertips here. It's all M2 in terms of technical analysis, but for stocks and crypto, I do use fundamentals first. Okay, I hope that helps. Catch you later.